Hello, this is Jay Bowden, software manager here at Titan. Putting together a little demo here of our electrical and cap test software. This video go over the operator interface and what the operators will see when they're running the test. As you can see on the screen here, this is the main layout and look and feel of the application with the main control menu. This application will run under Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, and you can see I just created a shortcut on the desktop. So when the computer loads, it'll usually have a shortcut right in the start menu of Windows. So the program will boot up right to that window, so they won't have to be doing a lot of clicking around or anything like that. But if they need to, they can always load the software by just a shortcut item icon on the main Windows screen. You can see here the interface has a main menu that allow them to run complete test, run single test, log in, log out, shut down, exit, and close the menu. Run complete test will run the operator all the way through all the different test steps, start to finish, and then wrap back around and be ready for the next unit. As you can see here, we have the list of tests that will be carried out. Right now they're all gray because nothing's been done yet, but as they pass or fail, they'll turn either green or red. As they're active, they'll be yellow, so you'll be able to see exactly, follow the test along as it goes. So if they hit run complete test, it'll do that and just sequence through the whole test sequence. They can use the mouse or keyboard to run this menu. Many cases there's no mouse available, so they'll need the keyboard, or they could use our operator pendant that we usually have on the test stands, and it gives them the ability to go up, down, enter, left, right, those kind of things. This menu here for running single test will, if they can go and pick another item that they want to retest, or if they get all the way through the test and everything passes except for one or two items, they can go back and rerun those single tests. Log in, log out, and either when they're logging in, if they have the proper credentials, it'll give them more options here on the main menu. Shut down, exit, close down the program, and then close the menu will hide the menu. I'm going to close the menu for right now. Up in the upper right hand corner here is our large operator prompt that will tell them what's currently going on, what's currently being done, and so that they can see it from a long ways away, a big yellow prompt. We call this our object box down in the main center, lower center of the screen. This image here allows you to show images, web pages, PDFs, Word documents, any kind of instructions maybe that you need that are can't fit into the main screen, but you want to do with pictures, anything like that, you can put down here. You can say just have the logo here. This is our live I/O box. This will show you live digital or analog readouts, canned messages, whatever we're currently checking as part of the test. You'll be able to see them live here, kind of like a voltmeter, to show them the actual readout. So if they're not making a switch or not making an input, you can see that here. And then we also have outputs here, so anything we're turning on for that specific test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a complete test here. See, my menu comes up. Oh, and sorry, this is the test list. So you can see any of the tests that are going on throughout the test. And I just have some simple simulated test steps in here to allow us to go through and do some of this training. So here's my main menu, run complete test. So you can see as we're going, we load the test, enter my operator ID. And you can see those are starting to turn green up here in the corner as they go through and are completed. I just have some dummy serial numbers in here. At this step is where normally if you use a barcode scanner or you enter it in by hand, after you've entered the serial number, we would have gone to your lookup file, your ASCII text file or database, however you want to interface our system, to go look up the proper models, options, unit information, and then we'd automatically populate the models list or the options list depending on what was picked. Once the options and models are picked, we automatically configure the test steps that are active here. So only tests that'll be carried out on a unit will show up in here. If let's say though they don't have the wipers don't exist or something like that, those would not appear in this list if they weren't part of this model or this option set. So just puts in some simulated models here for now. You can see we have one already picked. select done. You'll see to move on to the options. I entered in some of the options that might be available here on the system. It might not be all of them, but I get the feel for what we're trying to do there. That. And those options and models windows are also, you're able to navigate them using keyboard, mouse, or remote control. Simple example of connection screens with pictures. You can see I kind of circle the connector here. They can hit yes when they've done it. With the connections here, yes. Go to a simple sample of a digital output. In this case, I'm turning on a digital output, and that would turn on this indicator. So now we're asking the operator, hey, did that turn on? I'm going to go yes, and then did it turn off? And then I'll go yes. Now, sample digital input. So if we'd be prompting the operator to press this switch, I have this simulated to tied into my keyboard, so when I hit my left key, it goes off and back on and off. There we go. Sample of an analog input. So the rotary pot here, I've also got this simulated with my keyboard, so you can kind of see the value changing over in that right screen. Here's an example of two inputs now, so you can see I have the digital input on the bottom and my analog input on the top. You can see the analog input should change here. Whoops, I hit the wrong one, but my push button changed, and I change it back to off, and you can see it's going, now it's low, comes in stiff, and it meets the proper conditions. It goes on, and then I'll lower this one down. Now, this is also a sample where I'm going to show a failure. So if the test were to fail, you get the failure menu up where you can retest, exit this menu, continue testing, which will skip that one, leave it red, and continue on. Or I can also use this help. Now for each test step in our spreadsheet of steps, you can add help text and everything. So you can see here, I had that pot switch was failing, and here's the range, and then here's the range, and here's what my value was. You can see that it failed, but then we could also show what connectors, pin numbers, what bulkhead on the test stand it was tied to, and pin numbers, along with any kind of text help you want to put in there for the operators. Here I just put in some simple text. If the push button would have failed on the bottom, you'd seen this one would have said failed, and then check the fuse, check the relay along with its connector and connections. So you can see you can kind of narrow down troubleshooting tips and help here for the operator. So I'm going to close and I get my failure menu. I'm going to retest. And this time though, I am going to, so you can see it was right up here, I am going to pass it. So now you can see both conditions are true, and it moves on to the next step. In this case, it's a sample of doing a trigger, so we can do some timing also. If you want to know how long it takes to make some conditions, you can do that. So here, I got one condition, and you can see my counters going. I'm going to come in range, and this is hopefully going to take about 8 seconds there for me to hit those buttons. So we moved on now to the next test step. Here I have this little device here on my bench. I'm able to hit these buttons. So now this is CAN information coming in that you'll be able to see in, oops, wrong screen. CAN data, so we're currently testing CAN inputs. You can see some values changing here as I hit buttons on my little test panel here, but I'm going to actually hit the button that corresponds to this input I'm checking. See it go high, and then I released it, it goes off. You can see my picture changed and went to the next one. This screen is just for troubleshooting and diagnostics. It's what we call our CAN bus monitor. Normally it'll be closed and hidden, but I wanted to kind of show that. You can see CAN data coming in. Here's the next button. I'll release it. You see my picture on the bottom moves on to the next one. Release it. This one. Release it. Gear lock. And so now here's a sample of two inputs at once. So you can see there I'm turning one on and off, but it's not quite making it. Now I hold both buttons at the same time and it goes through. Release the buttons. Now we can actually send and simulate CAN messages too. So in this case, I'm actually turning on that park brake light. If you saw my panel here, the light is on, and I can respond, yes, it's on. Then we turn it off, it just went off. I can go, yes. And then we save reporting data. We can create our own CSV reports. We create some PDFs for like a formal report to go with the vehicle or the cab. And then we can also, our CSV files are standard format that we just write all the data as we're going through the test steps. But we could also take that data and push it to SQL tables, Oracle databases, whatever you'd like. We actually have custom format scripting in the background that lets you to create those connections and store that data up. And I can, right here, I'll show you a folder where I stored some of the data. In this case, I've just put it in C results cab test. Here you can see I have a couple different models where I've been saving data, and we did it by model in this case. Normally you could do it by model or by serial number or by maybe put them all in one file and not split them by model. It's pretty much up to you. My CSV file here is dated by the year and month, so this will do it in every unit for a month will go in the same file. You can see all my test data down here too. So I just loaded this in Excel. You can sort and filter on passed, failed, whichever test you'd like to look at, maybe even serial number. You can see I have a few serial numbers stored in here. Operator IDs if you wish, those kind of things. And then also for this one we generated PDF reports. So let me go date modified. Here's the last one I just run at 54321. And you can see here is a PDF of a lot of the same data. And you can send this automatically to a printer if you like. You can change the icon and the logo. We can add more details up here if you want to show what models options were picked and those kind of things. You can see all the different status of pass or failed with the min-max and units. So that is my short demo of the operator interface. Hope it was helpful. And I will be doing another video on specifications and editing and setup.